Hi guys, I hope you're okay. Welcome back to another video. Today, Frankie and I are going to talk to you about her favourite topic, which is boobs and breastfeeding. There is so much that goes into breastfeeding. What I will do is break it down into some separate videos for you. So I'll do today's video, I'll also do a video about different positions that you can try, feeding in public, and also a few pumping hacks that I have. So Frankie is just over 3 months old now, and I have been exclusively breastfeeding her since she was born. So yeah, I'd just like to share really my top tips with you today and things that I sort of wish that I knew when I first started breastfeeding. But I'm just going to try and explain the basics to you. Hopefully it will help some couples out there. I also want to just make a point that I'm not claiming to be an expert. I don't know everything, I'm still learning, and I'm just sharing things that I've read online or have been told by other mums. I know a lot of antenatal classes, health visitors and stuff like that have been cancelled due to the coronavirus, so I'm just hoping this video will help some couples out there. I also would like to say that I am not pressuring women to breastfeed at all. I know there's this awful thing, what is it, breast is best. I don't believe that's true. I really do think, you know, whatever works for you and for your baby is what's best. So I'm really not trying to say, you know, breastfeeding's better than formula feeding. I just want this to help mums out there that, you know, maybe feel a little bit alone or find that they can't seek the advice that they need at the minute. And Frank's going to keep farting on my lap. So I'm going to start off explaining the early days of breastfeeding. So one thing that I didn't know about was colostrum. So when you first have your baby, you don't instantly produce milk. Is actually something called colostrum, and this colostrum is full of white blood cells and antibodies, which is great for your baby's immune system, and your milk probably won't come in until 2 to 3 days after you've had your baby. Mine came in I think on day 3. You just know when it's come in because your boobs feel very full, very heavy. Mine were really swollen. I looked like I'd had the most amazing boob job, and it was actually very uncomfortable. So I will give you a little bit of advice on what to do when that does happen. So the tips that I would give you guys that really helped me, so a gentle massage to your breast. So there are YouTube videos that you can follow where they demonstrate on how to give a good massage, which helps relieve some of the swelling and some of the pain. I found a warm compress really helped as well, so I literally just had a warm flannel and just placed it on both boobs. And I also found that feeding frequently really helped. So Frankie obviously was relieving the pressure from my boob by taking the milk away from the boob. So one other thing I would recommend as well is investing in a decent nursing bra, something I actually didn't do in the early days, and it did cause me some discomfort. I was just using, you know, the standard underwired bras, but it was just too tight and too uncomfortable because obviously your boobs double in size. So I actually got my pack from Primark, and it was just a twin pack. I got a black and white one. I think they were £8 or £9, but you can find some really good ones on Amazon as well, so I will drop a link below for you. It just makes, you know, daytime and nighttime feeds a lot more comfortable, and it's easier because they've got like a little clip up here, so instead of taking your whole top off and your whole bra off, you can literally just lift the clip off and fold it down. So I would also recommend some good nipple cream. So when you're experimenting with your latch, trying to get it right, it can make your nipples sore and cracked and feel quite bruised. So I had, I don't know if I pronounced it right, the Lancino nipple cream, and it was really, really good. So I would put this cream on before and after each feed, and it's fine for the baby to, you know, suck on. It doesn't matter, it's safe for the baby and for mum, and it did really help relieve some pain. And I would also recommend in between feeds is to sort of air dry your boobs, so like let them breathe a little bit, because if your nipples are sore and cracked, obviously the fresh air will help heal them. And yeah, I did actually read somewhere that if you squirt your breast milk onto your nipple, because it's so amazing, it can help heal. So I actually didn't try that. When I read that, my nipples had already healed. So I mean, if any of you out there want to give it a go, let me know if it works. So frequent feedings help stimulate your milk production, so it basically works on a supply and demand basis. And you may be wondering how often your baby should be feeding. I know a lot of mums worry about the amount of milk that babies are having, because obviously you can't see it in a bottle. But I think the best thing to do is to just trust your instincts. I think it's recommended that babies feed within 8 and 12 times within a day when they're first born, which is a good guide to go by, but babies may feed more than that. I mean, she was feeding 16, 17 times sometimes. I think you just have to follow the cues and trust yourself, trust your body and trust your instincts. The best way that someone actually explained it to me was because people can get hung up on, oh, it's been 2 hours, she hasn't fed, she needs to feed, or it's been 2 hours, she needs to feed. The best way to explain it is, as adults, we don't feed on 2-hour intervals. You know, we have snacks throughout the days, we have water, we have big meals. So it's the same for your baby. So your milk is their snacks, their drinks, their dinners. So some feeds may be 5 minutes long, some feeds may be 30 minutes long, and some days they may feed 10 times, some days they may feed 20. So that's absolutely fine. And as long as they're gaining weight well, and as long as they've got a good nappy output, they're having lots of wet nappies, lots of poos, then you know that you're doing a good job. So yeah, that's one thing I would definitely say, is to just really trust yourself, trust your body, and you will get there. You'll figure it out, and you'll figure out a routine that works for both of you. So another thing I want to tell you guys is the strange side effects that I had literally no idea about. So there are a few weird things that happen to your body when you breastfeed. Oh, Doug! Doug wants to be involved. Hello, baby. Hello. They're best friends. So some of the weird things that I experience, and obviously everyone's different, but I'm just going to pre-warn you in case it does happen. So I had really bad night sweats, but I think that might just be a hormonal thing anyway, but yeah, be prepared for that. I got really hot feet when I fed, so it was like I'd sit and feed her with my slippers on, and instantly my feet would like clam up and I'd fling my slippers across the room because they were just so hot and sweaty, which is really gross, but you know, one of those things. You get instantly hungry, so you are hungry a lot when you breastfeed. So your body producing milk burns a lot of calories, so it is a known thing that breastfeeding women tend to snack a lot. So, you know, if you find that you're getting really hungry, then treat yourself to a snack. You need to eat well, you need to look after yourself, and you need to drink well too. So when you breastfeed, there's a hormone, I think it's called oxytocin, I don't know if I've pronounced that right, but it's released by nipple stimulation, and it can cause a few things. So it causes you to be really thirsty, and that is, you know, nature's way of making sure that you are drinking enough water and that you are staying hydrated so that you can produce the milk for your baby. And it also causes contractions in your uterus. It basically, what it's trying to do, your body is trying to heal, so it's trying to bring your uterus back down to the size it was before you were pregnant, because obviously when you are pregnant it stretches out. And yeah, so when you breastfeed you can get quite bad stomach cramps, and I wasn't really prepared for this. I didn't really understand what was going on. I thought there was something wrong with my stomach, but it's totally natural, and it's just being caused by that oxytocin that's being released when you breastfeed. But I promise you, it's normal, it's helping your body heal, and they don't last forever. A lot of people don't warn you of this, and a lot of people don't explain it, but it can be really, really painful. So when you first start breastfeeding, obviously it's something you're both learning. Neither of you have done it before. If this is your first baby or it's your first time trying to breastfeed, your baby hasn't done it before, you haven't done it, so you need to accept that you are learning together, and that's what you need to do. You need to learn what's good for you, what's good for your baby. So every baby's different, every mum's different, every boob's different, and you need to just give yourself a little bit of, you know, cut yourself some slack, because you've just given birth, you're hormonal, you're tired, you don't know what you're doing, and you want to make sure that your baby's getting, you know, good food. So I would just warn you guys that, you know, when you are experimenting with the latch, it can be painful. Frankie's latch was awful. She was so tiny when she was born. Frankie was only £5.3 when she was born, so her latch was really small. She had a tiny mouth. Like, I literally couldn't open her mouth to fit my nipple in, which sounds awful, but she wouldn't open her mouth wide enough. She'd be like, and trust me, that hurts. So the best way of explaining a good latch is really, if you think of your mouth, so if you pop your finger in your mouth, you've got the hard bit of the roof of your mouth, and then if you go further back, it's a lot softer. So if you're imagining your nipple on that tough bit of the roof of your mouth, that is going to hurt a lot. So I actually was really close to giving up, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because, you know, we're 3 months in and I can't actually imagine stopping anytime soon. I set myself a goal of 4 weeks of breastfeeding with her, because I have always had really sensitive boobs and I wasn't sure how successful it was going to be. I didn't want to put pressure on myself, and I just wanted to be realistic. So I was very close to giving up, because it was so sore. Like, it literally made my toes curl, and you know, I did cry. I said to Adam, I don't think I can do this, and I looked into formula feeds. I even bought some formula just in case, but I persevered. And one thing I found really helpful was watching videos on YouTube of different positions. and I found a position that worked really well for us, which I don't have to use now. Obviously she's a bit bigger, her mouth's a bit bigger, and she's sort of perfected her latch. So yeah, have a little look online before you give up. You know, experiment and speak to other mums that have breastfed and try and get some advice from people that really understand what you're going through. If you want to message me, if you've got me on Instagram or Facebook, honestly feel free to message me because I'm more than happy to help you. I actually found it was called the koala hold, or I think it's the Australian hold, and it is a bit of a weird looking hold, but it actually worked perfectly for us. So I'm just going to show you because it's one that people don't seem to know of, like people don't seem to know about this much. So it's called the koala because they literally sit on you like a little koala. So this is how I first fed Frankie. So she would sit with her leg either side of my leg, and then like this, she would latch on. And that way I could get her chin nice and low, like that, and then latch her head up onto my nipple. So what you want is you want as much of your areola, if I've said that right, to go into the baby's mouth so that it is comfortable and it's not rubbing on that hard part. Yeah, I would recommend just experimenting with different positions. And also just be open-minded to the fact that until you learn together and until you get it right, it will be uncomfortable and it probably will be painful. A successful latch shouldn't be painful, and I actually remember when I was feeding Frankie, I was sort of persevering with the pain, and it was making me sweat, it was making me cry, it was awful. And then that one time that I got a pain-free latch, I honestly nearly cried. I looked at Adam and I was going, it doesn't hurt, it doesn't hurt, oh my god, like I've actually done it. And you will get that feeling too, and there is nothing more amazing than looking down at your little milk drunk baby with like your milk dribbling down their chin. Honestly, it's the most amazing thing. And if you'd have said to me 3 months ago, breastfeeding won't hurt, you'll be able to do it in bed, you'll fall asleep when you're breastfeeding, I would never have believed you, because it was a struggle, and I'm sure a lot of women struggle, but you'll get there, I promise. We did, and if we can do it, you can do it. Yeah, like I said, I want to do some more videos for you guys. So I want to do positioning videos because I think that might help, and I want to do breastfeeding in public because I know that's something that people are quite nervous about. It's something I was really worried about, but I've just sort of gotten used to it now. And I would also like to do a pumping video. So it is actually recommended, I'm going to mention it to you now, that pumping isn't recommended until baby is at least 6 weeks old because it can mess up your milk supply. And usually when the baby's 6 weeks old, your milk should have regulated by then. So if you're pumping too much, it can cause an oversupply and then you'll get really engorged boobs. And you don't want that, trust me, that can make you feel really groggy, it can give you an infection, and yeah. So leave it until 6 weeks, and then if you want to start pumping, I'm sure we'll have a video up by then for you to have a little look through. So number 1 is there is no pressure. You've got to do what's best for you and your baby, so give it a go, see how you get on, but yeah, no pressure. Number 2, understand that the colostrum comes first and your milk will come in around day 2 or 3. Number 3 is pain relief, so educate yourself on how to relieve that pain when your milk does come in. Number 4 is about frequent feeding. So frequent feedings help stimulate your milk, and obviously it works on a supply and demand basis. Number 5 is to be aware of those strange side effects. It's all normal and totally natural. And number 6 is to be patient and be kind to yourself. You're doing an amazing job and your baby loves you no matter what. Thank you so much for watching. Frankie and I have absolutely loved doing this video for you today. Please drop any questions below, any comments, let me know what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you on the next one. Bye!